Hey, sports fans, what's going on? It's episode 45 of From Under the Bleachers. I'm your producer / radio guy. I really got to come up with a real title. But I'm Jacob Dale. Across from me is our co-host, KMFG, Kevin motherfucking Getchell. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, man?
And to his right, as always, is Jimmy Little Game James. Hello, sir.
What's happening?
Hey, what's happening? What's going on? Hey, you want to tell us about Beer of the Week, Jim, bro?
I do. We have a Polliner Munchin Hefeweizen, a natural wheat, and we're going to try it. I think that's where we're going to go from now.
All right. A Heffy wheat. A Hefeweizen.
Hefeweizen for our beer schnapps.
And that is not bad. Jake, two in
Yeah,
a row.
good job.
2 in a row. Nice.
Yes.
I will say that Polliner says that this has been passed down and perfected by our dedicated brewmasters since 1634.
You know what? I did not see anything on the back, so I should have checked that whenever I was introducing it. All I saw was the label, and I read it.
It's, what do they always say? Brewed in strict accordance with the Bavarian purity law, only using water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. So there you have it.
It's the only way to do it.
Here it is.
In Bavaria.
I'm about to drop this.
Boom.
I gotta pay attention.
Dude, that's good. I like this.
Boom, boom, boom. Also, shout out to Old Ball Yard. I got my high socks Sunday. I got to really sit up and try to talk on the mic here. But 2 for 2 on the awesome T-shirts.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work. If you guys are baseball fans at all, you got to check them out. They're not a sponsor, but I'm just gonna plug them.
Yeah, and I just told them before the show I'm going to purchase my first 2 shirts, maybe and add one in for myself as well as a wedding present. So there it goes. We're going to be all over Old Ball Yard. The website's going to love us here real soon from Under the Bleachers.
Yeah, we need to get our shirts made from these guys, and we just keep plugging people. We keep plugging beer. We keep plugging shirts. We keep plugging everybody until someone's like, you know what? Maybe we should throw these guys a bone.
I even drove the wife by Corral Liquor and Wood River the other day. I said, those guys provide us the beer. We still pay for it, but we could continue to shout them out all we want. Corral Liquor in Wood River, Illinois. Go give it a try.
Yeah, I told
plenty of selection.
I told Moodle I'm going to be out of town. Spoiler alert, fans! I'm going to be out of town for the next 3 weeks, so I know it's going to be hard to listen to the show without my voice. But I told Mike to make sure that the store doesn't get burnt down while I'm gone. And I know my 1 6-pack a week is probably keeping them in business. But
so we're gonna have to.
It's like you didn't go there for your Sunday drinking at all.
No, I don't think I paid Sunday. No, I didn't pay for a single drop of alcohol on Sunday.
Okay, well that probably makes sense then.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I was like, there's a gas station by my sister's house. We're going to pick up my nephew. You can go to Fairmount Park, who we also like to plug. And so
We plug everybody for free.
I was like, I was, you know what? I was going to stop by the gas station by her house, and I just swerved right before and got in the other lane, turned into the BP because that's where I go. I go to the BP on 74th Street in Belleville, Illinois. They're great too.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's 74 streets in your town.
There's 93, I think.
I'm pretty sure my town only goes up to 9.
And that's just to West
9th
Main,
Street.
and then there's East Main that has others. So that's Belleville, the longest main street. At one point, it was the longest main street in the country.
Knowledge.
Yeah.
13 miles long. Yeah, it's a lengthy bastard.
Lengthy bastard.
Well, I'll give a shout out.
Yeah, shout them out.
Last week we left a cliffhanger. I had an announcement we threw the outro on, but shout out to TyrantScouting.com because it's a mostly small school football kind of deal, but they opened up an NFL contributor site or articles. They want some NFL, and they got me as the New York Giants guy. So I'll be writing articles for those guys. So look for that. I'm on their Twitter.
Yep, and I was in the talks this weekend. All I need to do is get my WordPress set up, and I'm good to go for the AFC North Cincinnati Bengals.
So look at that too. Like we'll look at the FUTB just are letting our wings get expand and fly.
Will listeners be able to find that just straight from their Twitter, or do you guys have your own Twitter accounts? What happens there?
Well,
mine's still not set up. He does have one set up though.
Right. So you can go to Tyrant Scouting. It's at Tyrant_Scouting. Is
Tyrant, like a ruler?
TYRANT.
Roger.
Scouting. But the NFC East page, which I am the admin on, is it's at NFC East _TS as in Tyrant Scouting. So
Cool.
First article is, probably do. I've been kicking around a few. Have come out this week. I'm looking at seeing where the real Eli Manning is. Who's Eli Manning and what does he do?
Nice.
That's what I'm looking at.
KMFG.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'll make sure you're gonna have to tell me specifically when to look, but I'll look.
Yeah, I'll throw it out there. I already added FUTB as following, and vice versa. So to that page, and once Jim Bro gets all set up, we'll have 2 divisions, and we'll get some content out there. Hopefully, everybody will enjoy.
And you know how whenever September kicks in, I enjoy thoroughly talking about just the AFC North. I can hate on the Pittsburgh Steelers as much as I want until they get a Pittsburgh Steeler rider, and he can throw it back at the Bengals, I'm guessing. But until then, we'll start digging back and forth and go with that.
All right, so make sure you check out Tyrant Scouting for your latest hot takes from the boys at FUTB.
Yes. Awesome. So wind beneath our wings.
The wind beneath our wings.
Oh, that should be our play out song.
And copyright issues there, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, so Jim Bro, I know you were a little upset about the UFC.
Correct, a little bit. I was not upset, but I was upset with a comment that I read.
You got him with a throat full of beer, so that's why.
It was poor.
It was a little pause.
One thing we probably got to work on.
But no, I was upset about the comment that came out after the Gustafsson and Glover Teixeira fight. I believe it was on Sunday, right? The fight happened. I watched the fight on Sunday. I don't know exactly when it happened, but I watched the replay on Sunday night, and it just came out and it says about Gustafsson in regards to John Bone Jones. I don't like him. He's not a champion. So I, of course, message Jake, because I know Jake's very involved in UFC and tends to watch all these, follow along with everything. And what do you think about this? I'm finally, I know I've always been a Rumble Johnson guy, true supporter. I never said John Bone Jones was bad at all. I just wanted to see Rumble Johnson and John Bone Jones fight. That never, it seems like it's going to happen now, unless Rumble comes out of retirement, which I don't want him to, because he'll get his ass whooped. If he's not in training, he's not going to be able to go 5 rounds with John Bones Jones. But we've seen in this weight class multiple times, everybody tries to step up to the plate with him. Gustafsson has in the past. Cormier has in the past. And it just doesn't work out. So these guys got to learn, hey, quit calling these motherfuckers out because you can't beat them. So I just want to get your opinion on it, and then we can go back and forth a little bit. But it wasn't the true quote. So we'll read this
little
quote.
clickbait.
A little clickbait, and let me see if I can find it real quick here. I had it pulled up. Gustafsson. So the quote is, I don't like him. Gustafsson says, I give him that he's the best fighter of all time, the best pound for pound fighter of our division. Of course, everybody knows that. He hasn't even lost a fight yet. He demolishes everyone he fights. But as a person, as a champion, he's not a champion in my eyes. He's not a good person in my eyes. So the guy doesn't like him. He doesn't have to. But he also wasn't saying that, hey, he's not a champion. He was saying that he's the best, but in my mind, he's a shitty person.
Like, he wasn't saying that he doesn't deserve to be a champion. He doesn't deserve to be a champion because of the way he is, not because of the fighter. He's a good fighter.
It's the way he acts.
He doesn't act like a champion supposed to act.
And so I just getting tired of these guys keep calling out John Bone Jones. You're going to get your ass whooped. So stop doing that. But no, he actually, he deserves to be the next guy up. Gustafsson absolutely does. Get another chance at him, because that was the best fight I think Jones has seen.
Probably of his career, yeah.
So, and it's the best matchup. They're both lengthy guys. Gustafsson's really quick. I think he's gotten a lot quicker since the last fight, too. So we'll all see. If and when John Bone Jones comes back and fights Cormier, it's supposed to be coming in July. I think we both are in agreement that Bones will take care of him. And,
yes.
And then I think Gustafsson will get his chance again. But those elbows.
Unless they got to do number 3. You got to do Cormier Jones 3.
They might, but those,
because that's going to sell the tickets. You got to understand now, UFC's all about selling tickets.
You only do a 3 if somebody else wins the second one, and Cormier's not going to win.
That's a fair point.
He's not going to win.
But if he did,
he won 1 round in that matchup. Maybe he got all 3 judges said he won 1 round. But
fucking English language.
You are full of tongue twisters today.
Pound for pound, try that 3 times fast, and then. It's tough. It's tough right now.
I actually tend to disagree with you a little bit about the calling him out thing.
Okay.
I think that, not that you're wrong necessarily, but I think that's a big part of the sport. I think shit talking, raises the eyeballs on the sport. I mean, John Jones has plenty of eyeballs on him, but nobody, I won't say nobody, but I'm a pretty big UFC fan. You follow the UFC. But, Kev, do you know who Gustafsson is, really?
I don't know who that dude is.
So whenever Gustafsson comes out and says, I don't like John Jones, he's not a champion, that gets your everyday crowd who sees that on ESPN and goes, oh, okay, there's a little rivalry going on. So I think that's a really good way to promote the sport and eventually sell more pay-per-views and get the fighters more money.
And I was hoping this would roll in a little bit to what you're saying. Gustafsson, he's capable of calling somebody out because he's fought John Bones Jones. He's been there, so he has at least a little bit to call people out. Guys like after the Rumble Johnson, Daniel Cormier fight, like Jimmy Manuwa, what on his track record has him to call out Cormier and say, I'm the next guy? Whenever, he beat Corey Anderson and Open St. Peru, but he's lost. His two big losses on his record are to Gustafsson and Rumble Johnson. So he can't beat the guys that were behind Cormier. Why do you think we should give you a fight to go fight somebody that's above them that he's beaten?
It's like when we tweet at Joe Rogan, listen to our podcast. We deserve it all.
Stay in your lane a little bit, little guy.
But no, I agree that some people should, and if you're deserving of it, call them out. But this weight class is such a clusterfuck right now, and I love it because it's been my favorite weight class to watch for the past 7-8 years. But right now, these top two guys are going to fight, and maybe Alexander Gustafsson is the only guy that has a chance because we agreed, I think, in conversation on Sunday night. Glover Teixeira, he can take punches, but if he's your number 5 in a weight class, he's number 2 right now. If he's going to drop down to number 5, your weight class isn't very good after your top couple guys. None of these guys are going to be able to beat Jones, Cormier, or Gustafsson. I don't think anybody in this weight class has a remote chance of beating those top 3.
Yeah, I don't see any. There's no up-and-comers in the division. It's all
we
the names we've been saying. Yeah. They've all fought each other, and they're all going to continue to fight each other because they're the best. I mean, maybe Jimmy Manuwa gets a chance up there just because he's another guy.
And we tossed around 2 names that we haven't seen fight yet. The Misha Serkinov, I believe is how you pronounce that, and then Volkan. Good luck on this one. Odesmer. That's about as best I got.
Perfect.
I think it's
perfect.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah. So, I don't, as a non-casual fan, I don't like it when I see, Mac from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, calling out, Mike Tyson. But when there is shit talking between people, that would get me interested. If I know a little bit about it and I know, this guy's talking like when Macho Man called out Hulk Hogan, you're gonna watch. You don't want that UFC to get wrestling that boisterous or whatever. But I think shit talking is part of fighting, and especially if you always have your good guy versus your bad guy, and then you got this fan group versus that fan group. It does get everybody talking, and it's fun. So
that's where in this division it's kind of weird. If you listen, Daniel Cormier, when he gets post-fight interviews in the ring with Joe Rogan, he will get booed. He's like an American hero. I mean, we just had Memorial Day. He's not really a quote-unquote veteran American hero, but he's a medalist USA wrestler, and he's just a stand-up guy. He's never done anything wrong except win. Maybe a little boring because he wrestles, but he gets booed. And then meanwhile, John Jones is getting into accidents, getting suspended for cocaine, getting suspended for drug.
Dude, hardcore, huh? Cocaine?
Yeah, and he's everybody's favorite. So it's kind of backwards. John Jones is kind of the bad guy, but everybody likes him. And then for some reason, Daniel Cormier is too much of a good guy.
I just feel
it's weird.
When you look at UFC, you look at the fan base. I think it's like a bad boy sport. So they like that guy with that edge, that super villain or whatever. Yeah, and a guy that's an all-American dude, hey, look at me, swell. Yeah. People don't like that. So I get that.
That's why I really wish, I've spoke about this before, and I kind of taken this opinion from other people, other personalities in the sports, but I wish John Jones would just become the bad guy. His actions already speak that he's the bad guy, getting in all this trouble, but he's still is a very devout Christian man, which is great. And he says that he's in the sport to inspire others and all these really great things, but then he goes out and does a bunch of blow and gets suspended. So
everybody has their vice.
So it's this persona that maybe he is a really good devout Christian man and all these things, but his actions always speak louder than words, right? And his actions do not portray this great man that he's trying to
you don't see Tebow
portray.
doing blow.
So, he keeps it quiet. He's smart. He goes to the Philippines where there's no cameras.
Yeah.
And I wish I actually have that on recording. I think that the fight night that I watched, but I didn't watch the fight before it. So that Zedmer, we'll call him, and Serkinov, they fought. Zedmer won. So that may be two guys we can watch, but I didn't get to see any.
And
part of the fight.
there's also, those guys are probably, I mean, they're in the UFC.
Yeah.
So it's just like whenever you see a guy batting 200 in Major League Baseball, and you want to say he's shitty, but he's in Major Leagues, he's good. There's over 500 athletes in the UFC now. It's hard to pay attention to everybody.
And so right now, I'm just going to call him Volkan because I think I can pronounce his first name. So Volkan O. He's got 2 fights. He beat Oven St. Peru, and then he beat the Serkinov character in the second fight. So two big wins right off the bat. So maybe he can come in and mix this division up a little bit. But other than that, there's just not a whole lot in there anymore.
Yeah, especially you're looking at if John Jones beats Cormier, there's a good chance he goes up to heavyweight. There's a good chance that Cormier goes to heavyweight. Like, both those guys are big dudes.
I think either one, whoever wants it first, can go fight Miocic because he's beating everybody in heavyweight.
Yeah, it's kind of getting to that point where the UFC needs like these super fights. The WME, who owns the UFC now, they bought it for $4 billion.
Yeah,
like they got to sell some tickets.
That's a lot of money. Maybe they want to sponsor us.
So it'd be great as like a pure UFC MMA fan.
Maybe. I just heard what you said. Yeah, maybe.
It'd be great as an MMA fan to see the best possible matchups, but that's not what we're going to get in today's UFC. We're going to get GSP, who hasn't fought in 3 years, coming back to fight Michael Bisping.
Do you see what he said? If he loses, he's not going to be a punching bag. He's going to retire if he loses again.
That's good. But, I mean, who knows? Like, Michael Bisping is half blind. Michael Bisping can barely see out of his right eye. It's been detached and reattached. It's weird.
I definitely think if GSP is anywhere close to his old self, he's going to beat Bisping. You already know my opinion about Michael Bisping. We disagree on that, but I think he's garbage. So I think GSP can be half the guy he used to be and still win this fight.
Yeah, but I think you're going to see guys like Mighty Mouse come up and probably fight at a heavier weight class. You're going to see
if Garbrandt and Dillashaw eventually fight,
yeah,
Mighty Mouse will take on the winner of that.
Yeah, and you've already seen Conor come up 2 weight classes,
yeah,
and, win 1 fight, lose 1 fight, win 2 belts. So I think that's just the trend. They're going to go out and they're going to make the biggest possible pay-per-views, and the fighters get a portion of those pay-per-views. And if they can sell 10 million for like a show as opposed to 2 of like a really, really good matchup, they're going to take the 10 million every day.
Now, what about this big McGregor Mayweather shit? Is that going down? Is that going to be anything? Or
it sure seems like it. They sure talk. I mean, and I haven't really researched into it, but I get the little Bleacher Report updates on my phone, and it says that
it's ongoing. It's ongoing. Yeah,
they're definitely in contract talks. I think they just got to figure out money.
Yeah.
One more thing. I mean, Floyd's used to $100 million fights,
but do you know how that's going to work? How an MMA fighter is he going to just box, or is Mayweather going to try to kick, or
no? It's going to be a strict boxing match.
Oh shit!
And I mean, I think if it goes like Floyd Mayweather wants, they're going to go 12 rounds, and Floyd Mayweather's going to win on points. But there's always a chance that McGregor lets loose a left hand and connects. That's what's going to be really exciting.
Is there also a chance where instinct takes over and McGregor fucking tackles him? And
I doubt it, because I mean, McGregor's a boxer.
Is that his background? Is that McGregor's background?
I mean,
boxing,
pretty much. He can't really wrestle or do jiu-jitsu or anything like that. I mean, he's got really good kicks. He's got really good kicks.
Like all of a sudden, like, Mayweather's give him the old 1-2 and fucking roundhouse the fuck out of him. Like, oops.
No, that'd be a really dirty move.
Sorry, dude, I didn't mean to.
I don't think Conor's a dirty fighter or anything. I mean, you might see a lot of clinches. You might see a lot of hugging whenever McGregor gets in trouble. But there's always a chance he's got knockout power.
Yeah.
He's knocked out everybody, and Floyd Mayweather hasn't really knocked anybody. I mean, he's had some knockouts. You win 50 fights, you're going to knock some people out.
But he'll dance the fuck out of him.
Hasn't won 50 yet.
Yeah, true. Very true. Close enough to round it, I think. But
because if you got 550 and it's against McGregor, you better not call 50. Yet.
Yeah. I know. I don't think there's any chance that Mayweather knocks him out, but I do think there's a chance that Conor could knock Floyd out, and that's what'll be fun.
Yeah.
But there's a good chance that it's just going to be a points fight, and Floyd wins that 12 out of 12 times.
Is Don King anywhere near this?
No.
Okay, because then it'll be fixed and it'll look stupid and it'll bite ears and shit.
No, Mayweather has his own promotion, so he doesn't have a promoter.
Where is Don King? Is he still alive? We should have tweeted
I think
at him.
so. I'm pretty sure he's really good friends with our President Trump.
That makes
I
sense.
hope so.
Yeah. That makes me like Trump even more. Fucking friends with Don King.
Yeah. And like you said, Stipe's knocking everybody out too, so that's great. Is he still a firefighter? That's so awesome.
They're still doing it.
He just has a full-time job and then just trains.
Well, and the one more point that we talk about how the UFC's got to make their money back. What they're doing, and it's smart. They've been doing it for a long time, but they send, whether it's Jose Aldo or whatever, a big name down to Brazil, have them fight in Brazil, and have that big name. And somebody, if you want a title shot or whatever, you got to go down. You got to go down to Brazil and fight and win down there. You can get booed afterwards, but it's fine. Yeah. You're still going to have the belt at the end if you win.
You got to go to Brazil where the drug testing for Brazilians is a little questionable.
Yeah. A little more lax.
I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just saying some people look a little stronger when they fight in Brazil.
A little more lax, the rules.
So then you go down to, you go up to Sweden this past Sunday, Fight Night 109. If Teixeira wanted to come from Brazil and get that 1 and 2 fight, it was going to happen in Stockholm, Sweden, because that's also where Rumble and Gustafsson fought, was in Stockholm. Stockholm's a big area to have fight nights in, but obviously they're going to want to put Gustafsson on that card because he's the biggest draw out of Sweden. Yeah. So they put him on there, and the crowd comes out. They do it's the white stripes. Oh. That's what the crowd was doing nonstop during the fight. And it was beautiful. And as soon as it started turning up a little bit, they got louder and louder. And it
that sounds awesome. So I looked up Brazil's drug testing. It's a 1-panel test, and they want to just know if you're human. That's it. As long as that's real piss that comes out of you. It doesn't matter what's in it.
Which, if you've seen Vitor Belfort in his prime, it's questionable if he's human. Like he's like on the very tip of Homo sapiens. Like he's almost an unknown species at that point. So.
You get lost in the jungle down there, have no clue what you're breeding with down there. It's scary, that's for sure.
They have to piss in a metal cup because the plastic melts. So.
Yeah. I'm excited about the UFC. I love the UFC. I don't get to watch it as much as I used to. I seem like I'm always fucking at a wedding. Or
those free ones, that's why you just got to go back on FS1 and jump on it.
So when's the next big pay-per-view, and how much are they? I think $100.
No, they're
it's $59.99.
$59.99 if you get it on on demand, like on Charter or something. Mm-hmm. But if you get it on PlayStation has a live event viewer app, quote unquote. It's only $50 on that. So
no, save $9.
Yeah, I mean.
So the next one, we should come to my house so I can actually watch it and talk.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I know something.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially July is going to be huge. So hopefully the return of John Jones and
right now, one coming up next week is UFC 212. It's got Jose Aldo and is it Max Holloway?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the main fight. Then after that, it's a couple girl fights. I don't really know who she is.
Girl fight.
Mm-hmm. But Vitor Belfort and Nate Marquardt are facing off. That'll be a good one.
There's another huge, somewhat of a controversy going on. They just opened up a women's 145-pound division, and I'll be brief with this.
And Jermaine, what's her name?
Jermaine Durandame is the champion. She beat Holly Holm in the inaugural championship fight. And you're familiar with Chris Cyborg?
Absolutely.
That's a cool name.
They made this division for Chris Cyborg because she just can't, for years she was supposed to fight Ronda. She's just a big girl. She can't get to 135. She
needs to do Advocare.
She has. Well, she's so muscular. She's taken steroids. She's been popped for steroids, and her frame is just so big. She's muscular. She can't lose weight. It's not like a fat thing.
So her tampons are steroid pills.
Yeah, pretty much. But so they made a 145-pound class, 145-pound weight class for her. And Jermaine Durandame, who is the champion, is refusing to fight her.
She's a cheater.
So you have
understandable. You have the steroid tampons. I wouldn't fight her either.
Champion of a division where there's only 4 fighters. I don't know how many fighters there are, but there's only 4 fighters in the whole division, and the champion is refusing to fight the number 1 contender. So that's a little. I can understand it, but it kind of sounds like she's scared.
She definitely is.
I don't blame her because Chris Cyborg hits like a man.
Yeah.
I don't
She maybe is a man.
I can't imagine.
She's from Brazil, so you have no clue what's going on in that water.
Like a woman who has to cut weight to get to 145 pounds and is jacked. Whew, scary.
For
other women.
With a last name of Cyborg.
It's a nickname, but.
Oh, okay.
Is it like Justine or something?
Yeah, I don't know what her
So
name is.
UFC 212.
Yeah.
So UFC 1 was like Marcus Aurelius and the Tiger.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
like
Daniel.
212
It was
years
Daniel.
or yeah, Daniel and
No.
or David and Goliath.
I
I
think
think
No,
the first
what?
one.
just Adam and Eve. After that shit. That's all it was.
Yeah.
It's not like the Super Bowl. I don't know.
They
It's
have
like
multiple.
every time they
It's
just
every
they're
month.
like,
They
we're
have
not
one.
going to be like WCW, WWE. We're not going to name everything. You know, we're just going to every single one. It's easy. Just
They did that in the beginning. There was like UFC 12 Redemption or like
yeah. The first
UFC
ones though,
12
like you
Bad
could
Blood.
break arms and shit. You know,
Yeah.
that was pretty.
Yeah, back
amazing.
whenever in
That-
the heyday of movie stores, whenever they were on, you can only get them on pay-per-view, but then they came out on VHS.
Yeah.
And you could just go rent them from
Dude,
the movie store.
I remember when UFC first came out, it was like this shit is hardcore. You either get knocked out or you break a fucking bone. That's what's gonna happen. And then they went away with okay, you can't break bones anymore. This is actually starting to get popular.
No eye gouging, no
Yeah.
groin hits. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
good deal. It's
Cool.
It's exciting.
I love talking about the UFC. I could do it all night.
I probably should watch it more, but I don't even know what channel it's on.
Yeah, FS1.
I don't know what that is.
It's so well. I can't explain it to you. At this
DirecTV,
point.
just throw a DirecTV channel like
I don't-
640 something.
I don't have DirecTV, so
Oh, okay.
we'll talk offline. You want to get into some baseball?
Yeah, we did say this episode was solely based on baseball. so we
Solely
might want to get
baseball. Well, I mean, there was a baseball fight, so naturally
Ooh,
we had
there
to
we
talk
go.
about fighting first to get us ready for baseball, right?
That's what I thought you were
Well-
filling us into. Absolutely.
Well, it wasn't quite a fight. It was. I mean, it was almost a fight. It wasn't, Rondor fucking throwing a nice right hook into Batista like last year,
It was still pretty awesome.
but it was still pretty cool. I like a good baseball fight. I know they're trying to. A lot of the people are like, okay, we got to get rid of this redemption, hits with the pitcher, and it's getting old. You hit my guy, hit your guy, and it just continues the whole season. But Bryce Harper, the last time he's faced this guy, hit some absolute fucking bombs off the guy, so he's gonna buzz one in there at 90, 8, 9, I don't know, right in the lower back. That pissed me off too.
Yeah.
That hurts.
I saw somebody on Twitter say that they need to make an example out of Hunter Strickland and suspend him for 40 to 50 games so this stops. And I've talked about it before. I think he threw at his hip, it hurts. I get it.
It hurts.
But there's no and he was saying,
You know what?
I'm not even going to give this guy credit on Twitter, because I don't want to look him up. I don't remember his name, but he was saying that this guy's throwing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball that could end his career.
Yeah,
which
that
it's true, but he threw it at his hip.
he put good location on it. That's all that matters.
He
He
did-
didn't throw it at his head.
He did better than the motherfucker in Boston that did at Machado.
Yeah. So,
But you know what hurts worse than a 98 mile an hour to the fucking ass? A wiffle ball. You get smacked with a wiffle ball, man. That fucking stings. Like that sucks.
I've never been hit with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, but I have been hit with a wiffle ball. It's got to be close.
It sucks. I'll tell you that.
But no, I thought this fight was fun. Terrible with the helmet. I think.
Yeah, the
think
helmet
Harper
toss was bad.
probably could have
Like I told
aimed
you.
a little bit better.
Like I told you, it looked like to me like Harper was like he was rearing back. I'm gonna hit this motherfucker with his helmet. And then once he started swinging forward, he thought better of it and just fucking let her go that way. Like, you know how sometimes you're frustrated that your sibling or whatever, and you're like, I'm going to fucking knock you out. No, I'm not. I'm going to punch the couch. That's what he did. And then he went to try to punch him and then got blocked.
Yeah, but if you already get all the way out there, just drop it and start throwing because punches are going to be thrown.
Well,
and that first one got Harper right in the face.
I guarantee you he knew if he would have wung that fucking helmet at him, that's more than 4 games.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty serious suspension.
Yeah, now you're using weapons. Like that's why they don't bring their bats up there and start wailing on them because then you go to jail. Nobody's done yet.
But no one's going to throw at Harper again if he charges him out with his bat. That's the last time
that
somebody
is
throws
true.
at
You
Harper.
just start fucking wailing at somebody, with a bat. Just that's big old fucking whiffs.
But no, Strickland got 2 good ones. Harper got 1 good one in. And then Samardzija came rolling from the dugout with one ready to go, and his teammate, I don't know which one it was, but ran right into him.
Dude, he got Leroy Jenkins
and
hardcore.
knocked Samardzija down out of this world. Samardzija, I don't think, was back in the fight the rest of the time. He got pushed underneath the dog pile, and that was it.
Yeah, he had the dude coming in late, fucking Leroy Jenkins. Fucking took out his own dude, like, oh, fuck.
But then, so if you saw not Samardzija, Strickland had to be carried off by 3-4 guys to get back in the dugout.
Yeah, he was not happy.
And I'm sure that he probably started throwing punches at those guys for taking him back in there. He wanted a piece of him. And it was interesting. It was a good one.
Now, the big news out of this whole fight is Buster Posey just kind of watching.
They have two. One of them, Buster Posey, was right in the middle of it. He should have been involved. Mad Bum was not. Mad Bum,
ghosting him.
Yeah,
Mad Bum, who's injured currently, probably shouldn't get into it. They showed him from the dugout. He sees it and walks straight into the clubhouse. He says, "No thanks." They go. He goes, "I'm going to be in a lot of trouble if I try to go out there." Well, yeah, go into Buster Posey.
I mean, a lot of different angles was that this was more personal and nobody really saw it coming, because it goes. I mean, like you said, last time he hit a jack off him was 2 years ago.
It was in 2014. So
yeah, so Buster was like, dude,
four seasons ago. Yeah,
this is your fight, dude. Like like it's like your drunk friend at a bar getting in a fight. You're like, oh fuck.
So I'm sure Posey wasn't just like, yeah, poke one in on him.
Yeah.
So he was probably pissed, but then he finally started trotting out there, and then the fight poured right into his direction, and he just jumped out of the way and then walked all the way around. It's like, I am out of this one. Yeah. Screw this. I'm hitting well this year, so leave me alone.
Posey throws down a change up or a curveball, and he sees him hum one at him, and it's like, well, you're on your own, buddy.
Yeah. I've torn my ACL once. I'm not getting back in there.
No chance. Yeah, I mean, he's about the only guy hitting well on that team right now. So the Giants are in a lot of trouble, and we can flow right into that. We'll start with the NL West since they got a lot of teams hot, just not the Giants.
Yeah,
They're continuing off their second half of last year.
Yeah, so I don't know. Los Angeles is in second place right now. I thought they would be in first. I mean, they're neck and neck with Colorado. Yeah. Let me get the records here. Colorado 33-20, LA 32-20, Arizona 31-20. And then San Francisco 22-31, and the Fathers 20-33.
We agree that they're finally going to be the worst team in the league. We got that nailed down.
It looks like San Francisco's trying to fight them for that spot, though.
Position-wise, but runs against and everything, screaming that the Padres are that bad.
Yeah, I'm telling you, all it takes in baseball is a hot start and then 500, and that seems. I mean, did we see the Rockies jump at the top of this division when we did our West preview when we started? I think we were all in on the Dodgers.
I think I had them in fourth place, maybe third.
It was Dodgers,
I think I had
Giants.
Them in third. Yeah, Dodgers, Giants, Colorado.
Yeah,
and I knew Colorado had some potential, but I didn't foresee this. And I don't see a lot of games on the West Coast. I go to work early in the morning. I go to bed early at night. I didn't even watch when the Cardinals were playing on the West Coast. But I did. I tried to look up some stats to see if I could really kind of tell what people are doing well, and Colorado's hitting the tar off the ball, as you can pretty much imagine. Charlie Blackmon, 329. Mark Reynolds, actually, who was a surprise. I thought Mark Reynolds was just going to kind of be a fill-in.
It was a late sign-in, too. Yeah,
until Ian Desmond came back. Ian Desmond's back. Mark Reynolds still playing first. Hitting 313 with 13 home runs, 44 RBIs.
It looked like Gerard Opara got the fourth outfielder spot instead, and they're throwing Desmond in left now, and that's where they're going to roll with, because Reynolds is hitting the ball, like you said, up there, and Parra's not.
Yeah. So. And then Nolan Arenado, you knew he was going to slug, hitting 289 with 12 home runs. And then the pitching is holding up pretty well.
Both the Tylers, Chatwood and Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, their numbers don't blow you away, but for people who pitch in
as long as they're not like, that's Coors Field numbers, you're good with pitchers up there, because they do have to throw in Coors Field, so you're gonna win 9-7 games up there, and the Rockies have the bats right now.
Yeah, and the guy who's two guys who stick out, the 22-year-old Antonio, I believe it's Cincitella. I believe is how you pronounce his name. He's 7-1.
That sounds good
right
to me.
now.
Good for him.
7-1 with a 3.19 ERA. It's pretty solid playing for Colorado team. Mm-hmm. And then you got Greg Holland, who's 19 for 19 in save opportunities, and he's with a 1.37 ERA. So.
Old guy out there just doing his thing, man. He's good.
3 outs and let's go home.
And their bullpen, I know Jake McGee struggled a little bit, but they do have a decently deep bullpen, and that has been their issue in the past. Is even if their starters throw a decent game, it's going to wind up being a 10-7, 9-7 game, because you're going to have to out-hit them because their bullpen was so bad. So they finally got a couple guys that are reliable up there in that back end of the bullpen. And
Yeah,
it's paying off for them.
And if they play 500 ball from here out, that's 94 win season right there. So that's a playoff.
The journeyman Chad Qualls pitching well for him. Is it Chris Russin? Rusin, pitching well for him. So working out well. Second place is the Los Angeles Dodgers. You got Justin Turner, who we knew he re-signed, right?
He'd look really good at third base for the Cardinals right now, I think.
Oh, God, you're telling me. 379 average? Yeah. With only one home run, but 17 RBIs. I think, is he at leadoff? No, they have Chris Taylor hitting
He can, but I don't think he's a permanent guy up there. He's usually 5 or 6 in the order.
And then Chris Taylor, who is obviously a new addition from, but he's hitting a 312 clip. And then I know I mentioned Yasmani Grandal as someone to kind of have a little bit of a breakout season. I mean, hitting 291, 5 home runs, 23 RBIs. So, and then the pitching is their starting pitching is just. I mean, you look at Clayton Kershaw. Obviously, you know what you're going to get out of him. Mm-hmm. He's 7-2 right now.
Yeah.
Kenta Maeda 4-2. Brandon McCarthy 5-1. Woods 6-0. So they're doing some work there. And then Kenley Jansen.
Rich Hillman just came back now, and he's been pitching well too. So
had one really bad outing against the Cardinals and one.
And
really
now he's one really good one. He's back in it, I think, and he'll only make them better. I think they'll probably wind up winning this division.
Yeah.
But it'll be a fight. I think it's gonna be a dogfight between these top 3 teams.
I was gonna say, the Dodgers will overtake them pretty quick, and but I think the Rockies will maintain. It looks like, with the Giants and being 11 out, that's a tough hill to climb even this early. I mean, 11 games with 2 teams that are playing real well.
And they would have a shot, I think, if you're sitting that far down in the Central right now with a team that's like Milwaukee. It's only 3 over 500, but with 3 teams streaking, you're looking up to 3 teams 11 back, not just one.
Right.
It's going to be a very, very tough hill. I think you can almost cancel them goodbye here in early or late May. I guess we can still call it to be early June. But
yeah, have to be one magnificent fucking win streak to get them back on track.
Yeah, and then you get the Diamondbacks. Even a bigger surprise to me than Colorado.
I think they still have the pitching down there. I mean, there's a lot of young talent. Robbie Ray killing it in strikeouts right now. He's always going to give up a few, but he can put them down just as easy. And Zach Greinke's been throwing well.
Zach Greinke's throwing well, 6-3 record. But they have 6 players batting over 290 right now. Which, there's only 9 batters in the lineup, and one of them's a pitcher. So Chris Owings, 317, Peralta, 315, Paul Goldschmidt, he's going to be hitting 308.
I like Goldschmidt.
That's even under for Goldschmidt.
Yeah. AJ Pollock is hurt again now, but I think it's like a groin strain. He's on the 10-day DL.
Yeah.
But he's hitting 299, and a familiar face for us Cardinal fans, Jeremy Hazelbaker, has been filling in quite nicely.
They just sent him down about 4 or 5 days ago.
Well, he's hitting. I have him hitting at 308.
He was hitting 308. Yeah, he's back down to AAA, but I'm sure he'll be back up.
Yeah, dude does nothing but come up and fucking.
Now he may have, once Pollock went on the deal, he may have got called back up. He went down early last week, so he may be up now. I didn't see this weekend who they called up for that injury, but
some guys are like call up all-stars, man. You call them up, they fucking kill it, but you leave them in there as starters, and they kind of.
He's the type of guy, like, he's been hitting so well for him that they just didn't have room out there. He's going to be back up eventually. It wasn't a permanent. It was just a current. Somebody's going to go down with an injury, and he'd be the first guy they call up to fill a roster spot.
That's got to be a rough life to be that guy that goes up and down, up and down. You're back and forth from major leagues to minor leagues, and the team's not right down the road. It's not like Pawtucket and Boston where it's a couple hours. Yeah.
Yep, and then one last player is Jake Lamb with 14 home runs already. Yeah. He's
been blasting the ball.
He just hits the ball out. I don't know what to tell you.
That's for sure.
And then Zach Greinke. I mean, Shelby Miller's his ERA is under 4. I mean, under 5. So
I think the good news with these 3 teams right now in the West. I mean, you're looking at it. They've put a distance on not only the Giants, who always could be possible to make a comeback, but the rest. I mean, you look at the NL East, it's the Nationals, and everybody else is 5 games under or worse. And then in the Central, nobody's really stuck themselves out yet. The Cardinals have had their struggles. The Cubs are struggling with their starting pitching right now. And I mean, Milwaukee's there, but does anybody truly think Milwaukee's going to be there come October? So if I'm I'm feeling pretty comfortable about myself right now. If I'm Colorado and Arizona, that hey, even if the Dodgers do, get a couple game lead on us, that we still might have a playoff spot.
Yeah, it
ready
looks
for
like
the taking.
Well, it looks like the Central. There's not going to be a wild card. I think the Cubs have that 2 deep postseason runs is catching up to them. I think it'll be one of those years they may squeak in, may not, and that hopefully for them they don't. And then next year they'll be like the Giants, just fucking kill it again. Everybody's refreshed. They had that extra time off. But man, that Central looks awful.
It doesn't look
500,
great.
3 games over 500. And, I mean, look at all the opportunities. Like, everybody's the Cubs are going to win 100 games. Even I thought they were going to win 100 games.
But if Pittsburgh's sitting here, as much as they've gone through and how bad they've been and looked, they're only 3.5 back of the lead in the division right now. So you got to be happy still if you're in Pittsburgh. You can't be too happy by the way your team's playing, but the fact that you still have a hope to get there at the end of May.
And at least the Cardinals and even Brewers, I guess, have the opportunity to run away a little bit, like in the Central where the Rockies and Dodgers are, 11 games over the Giants, who was a threat to win that division. This division, nobody wants it. It's just kind of like, spinning their wheels.
Yeah, I think as a fan of the NL Central, it's going to be fun to watch because it'll be a close race the whole way, but it's also going to be very frustrating.
Yeah, wasn't it just like 2 or 3 years ago there was like 3 teams with 100 wins?
Yeah. So I think it's going to be very frustrating if you're a fan of an NL Central team like I am, but it'll be exciting nonetheless, even if it's just like waiting for someone else to lose more than you lose.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and who makes the big move? It's basically what it is.
And then you go to the NL East. I mean, other than the Nationals, there's not much to talk about right now. The Mets have been bad and are still somehow tied for second. Everybody else is just that bad right now. Philly is brutal to watch. Anytime their starting pitching hasn't been horrific. Aaron Nola's back now, so hopefully that gets going a little bit for him. Jared Eichhoff, I still don't think has a win, but he's also had 3 blown saves and starts he should have won. The bullpen is horrific over there in Philly, and their hitting's starting to pick up, but through the whole month of April, their bats were garbage. Tommy Joseph was hitting under 200. Michael Franco had a couple bombs, but he was hitting, 205. So guys that they're planning on relying on hitting under the Mendoza line, good luck then. In that case, you're going to be 17-32 come the end of May. So I think there's 7 teams alive right now for playoff spots. I think the Giants are out. So you look the Brewers, Cardinals, Cubs. The Reds and the Pirates are right there. But I think as the season goes on, the top 3 right there will start to separate themselves a little bit. I still wish Pittsburgh would give Austin Meadows a shot in that outfield because John Jaso and Adam Frazier have been their replacements. Jaso's hitting about $140, and they're still trying him out in right field. Call up the young guy and give him a shot. You can send him back down whenever Marte gets back, and hope that helps you out a little bit. But
how's Matt Adams doing since being traded? Have you followed that at all?
Just a couple bombs right in like the first 2 days, but I haven't followed him since. So I don't know how he did the rest of the week, but rumor mill is once Freddie Freeman comes back, they're going to try and unload him before the deadline and hope that he shows out and they can trade him probably to an American League team for a better piece than Juan Yepez, I guess.
Good DH. I think Matt Adams would do well as a DH.
He doesn't have a bad glove at first. He can play first base.
Yeah.
You just can't try him out in left field. It's terrible. He's probably never played outfield in his life.
Now, with the Cardinals, Grichuk, dude, I thought he was a stud, but now he's going to single A. Like, holy shit.
He just can't hit.
He can't see the ball, apparently.
I love his glove in the outfield. If there was a such thing as like a designated fielder, I put that dude in the outfield every day. I love it. He comes in, he catches, he makes plays look routine that maybe necessarily wouldn't be for somebody else out there. And he'll make a diving play every once in a while, sliding against the wall.
And if he can find it, he's got some power.
I know.
The dude can fucking blast the ball.
He just can't find it. I don't know. And he had this problem last year, too. Maybe Major League just isn't for him.
And we discussed this, that Jose Martinez would probably be the guy to go. Well, they decided that Grichuk needs some time in Palm Beach.
It seems like we just need to just give the young guys a chance. I mean, I know Sierra's 21 and not, probably ready to be in the major leagues, but we were winning when he was up. We got Paul DeJong's hitting well. Martinez, let's just give the young guys a chance.
Martinez not young, he's 29.
Correct, but a new face, rather.
Tommy Pham's still up.
Tommy Pham,
he's been getting chances. I don't think with the contract we're not going to give up on Fowler. He's going to stay in center field. So
Fowler will either go 3 for 4 with 3 extra base hits, or he's 0 for 5.
Yeah, anytime you get
It's
a
not
guy,
what you want out of a leadoff hitter.
anytime you get a guy like Dexter Fowler, big free agent signing, you got to give more than 1 year. If he doesn't work out like the first few months, dude's
Right.
adjusting.
Yeah.
Wait next year or the third year, and then if he's still not producing, then you can start getting rid of him. But
Yeah, it's the same exact thing with, why can't I think of his name? Left-handed reliever that we signed. Who has
Brett Cecil.
Yeah, same thing with Brett Cecil. You sign him for 5 years, you just got to stick to him.
Mhm.
It's not.
Yeah, and I think the one benefit with Mag Sierra coming up, showing he can play. Jose Martinez, like I said, he's 29. He's probably not going to be much trade bait. But Harrison Bader down there in center field in AAA. You have Jose Adalis Garcia in AA that's hitting, or he might be at AAA, and then Oscar Mercado. They have 3 guys hitting over 300 right now in double and AAA. I think Mag Sierra went from Palm Beach to AA. He's in Springfield now. So you have 4 guys that are capable of coming up at any time and I think producing. But if you're looking, I think the Cardinals' biggest need right now is something in the infield. So they have plenty of names, and this DeJong might be a tryout. DeYoung might be a tryout to send to another team, maybe with a Harrison Bader and a couple arms for a big name player.
It would be nice to really solidify the infield. We've had Carpenter at first for the last 2 years, but the other positions are just a merry-go-round of Garcia and Diaz has been at short, but I guess.
So what I think you're going to look for, you send these young guys out, and you look for somebody at first or somebody at third, whatever's better, and then Matt Carpenter goes and plays the other position.
I agree.
And
how much longer does Peralta have on his contract? Any ideas?
I
don't know.
This is last year,
Okay.
so they can send him to be a third baseman for this year, send DeYoung down, and he can be their third baseman next year. So that might be a package deal where you send DeYoung and Peralta just to get rid of Peralta, and then send a couple arms with probably a guy like Harrison Bader. I think Evan Longoria still makes the most sense for us.
I've been talking about that for about 6 months now.
But and that just in my mind, I mean, Matt Carpenter, he played third base his entire college career. That's his most comfortable position, but he didn't look the part last year. He still doesn't look comfortable at first base, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, he misses pickoff throws
but
that I don't think
he has to play a position. I think maybe go third base, and the first base market might be a little better than the third base market right now, but I just don't know.
I'd say fuck the Cardinal way. Go get a big name, change things up, rejuvenate.
Well, the Cardinals aren't afraid to go get a big name.
When's the last big name they went and got? Like big name.
I don't know.
Dexter Fowler. I mean, come on.
But you look back in the World Series run when we had Carlos Beltran and Lance Berkman, pretty big names that we went and got. You look before that, you go out and get a guy like Mark DeRosa and Larry Walker.
Right.
Pretty big names. I mean, they're not afraid to do it and spend the money.
Oh, they need to. I think within the last few years, they've been trying to, do it the Cardinal way, which is a good way to bring up your young guys, develop them, bring them up. Piscotty's a stud. I think he's a stud. Guys like that. But I think right now they need a big shakeup. They need something to just really stimulate that team. They're 500. They're fucking 3 games from Milwaukee. Like, let's go. Yeah, you can. I think that's what they need.
Game and a half.
You can't bring up like Sierra and be like, oh, here's our change.
At least the good thing is they'd have beaten up on you when they had that run of 18 wins in 24 games. At least when they were playing the Marlins and the Braves, they were beating those guys.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, you have to at least beat the teams that you should be better than. And I know that's like a weird thing, but that's always what it is. You have to at least for sure beat them. And then if you lose to the Dodgers and the Rockies, well, you're just not one of the best teams in baseball. But you have to at least beat them.
Right now, the Cubs aren't playing well. You have a chance to grow a lead and just take the division. I think the Cardinals are the best chance, other than the Cubs, to run away with that division.
If they can quit playing fucking the Red Sox and the Rockies and the Dodgers, we can get out of there.
Well, and here's their issue: they're 12-14 at home, and that's
so weird.
The only team in contention that's remotely close. So you can look at the Mets while they're that bad, 12-15 at home. You have to win your home games.
Yeah,
you got to go 2 for 3, 3 for 4 in your home games, especially against the bad teams, and then go on the road. And if you're playing in Colorado, playing in LA, win 1 out of 3. if that's how it's going to go. But they're 12-10. They're above 500 on the road. They just can't win home games.
Yeah, you normally build your team for the ballpark that you play 81 games in. You don't build your team for
To go to
12
Coors Field 6 times a year. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you're have a losing record at home, like that's a big deal.
Like nobody gets upset if you go to Colorado for a 3-game weekend series and get beat 2 out of 3 and give up 27 runs, because that's what happens in Coors Field when you do that. So that's fine. You just have to be able to come back home and win 5 out of 7 of the games you're here for the next week. Whenever you're playing the Reds and the Brewers or the Reds and the Pirates or whoever, that's coming up on their schedule now. So they have to do that. They went through this 3-week period. Well, you said they played the Red Sox, the Dodgers, the Rockies, and then the Dodgers again. So they're going to get a little. They're going to get a little breather here in a minute, and they have to win those games. Though that's where you get that advantage, and you get those 8 games above 500 all of a sudden, and you separate yourselves a little bit. That's what they have to be able to do. They can't sit here and we're up 2-0, and then here comes the bullpen, and then they blow a 2-run lead, and which they did, I think. Or call me if I'm wrong. Was it against the Dodgers late last week that they had one of those games?
I can't remember.
They had it wrapped up, and they blew it in the bullpen.
Yeah, but then you look, they played the Red Sox, Dodgers, all those guys, and you see where they measure up against the big boys, and it's not looking good.
No, it's definitely not looking good. But as far as winning a lackluster division, you definitely have to beat your division when they're not very good.
Yep, definitely.
I agree.
So let's scroll on up to the AL and see what we got going on there. I think I want to start with the West again, because we were talking earlier in the AL West, or the NL West. If you get a hot start, you're good. You can go, Kevin. You can go 500 the rest of the way. Last year, Houston had the opposite. They were 9-22 to start off the season, and they played above 500 ball after April and still couldn't get there. Now they're 20 games above 500.
Yeah.
They got the hot start.
Yeah.
They're not coming back down. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
They can coast like the Cubs did last year and play 500 ball and still win this division by 5 games.
Yeah, and everybody outside of Houston, which is record-wise the best team in baseball, probably the best team in baseball overall, it's just a very average division. Everybody's within. I mean, Oakland is last place. They're 6 games under 500. Everybody else is better than that. Two, 6 games under 500. So they're all super average teams, and then Houston is 20 games over.
And
like
now
you
that you'll definitely see the Angels fall off. Mike Trout's going to be out for the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna fall quickly.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. Rangers, they kind of makeshifted the rotation, and it looks good on paper a little bit, but these guys are all coming back from injuries. After especially Yu Darvish, I mean, he's coming back. He hadn't been bad, but at the same time, you got a bunch of guys coming back from injuries that you don't know what you're going to get out of them. Mm-hmm. And so it's been going back and forth. I think Texas will wind up being the second best team. You mentioned Seattle, 12 guys from the rotation. That's crazy numbers right there.
Yeah, they've had 12 different starting pitchers this season so far. And only 2 of those 12 have an ERA under 3.
Yeah.
So pitching has been a problem. Right now they have 10 players on the DL, which that can be, again, with the new 10-day DL. There's a lot more players on the DL this year.
Yeah.
But 10 players on the DL, 8 of them are pitchers right now as we sit here. So they're struggling with that. I mean, they got guys who can hit.
If they can hang within like 2 games or they're 6 games under right now, if they can get to June, be within that 2 games under to maybe just over 500, they might have a fighting chance to get there in the last couple months. But I mean, they're going to have to get hot and get hot quick come July 17th.
Right. They're
going to have to turn that up. If they can get everybody healthy and they're close, they're definitely, nobody's going to catch the Astros. But the Central's mediocre. The AL East has played pretty well so far. There's a couple teams.
They play well against the Cardinals, I'll tell you that much.
The Yankees have been a little better than expected. The Orioles as well, still playing well. Toronto, I think, starting to find it. So I think that's going to be a really fun division to watch. But I think the Rangers and the Mariners still have some moving room to get up there and get themselves at least in the mix come playoff time.
Yeah, you got the East keeps leapfrogging each other, except for the Yankees. They've actually got to a hot start and sustained it. Aaron Judge, dude's a fucking stud, man. Just a giant guy in the stud. He's killing it.
I love his fan club that dresses up
But you gotta know
the
that
Judge Room or whatever they have. Yeah,
like they say, it is a marathon. Can they sustain what they're doing? They probably will make the playoffs. I think they'll be the wild card in that division.
The Yankees, you said?
Yeah, Red Sox. Price is coming back, but he hasn't looked that great, which is understandable. I mean, but hopefully he, if he comes back to form, Sale's just fucking dominant. Dude, almost broke that, strikeout record, or they keep making new records all the time. But then don't count out the Orioles. So that's a 3-horse race there. You might see.
You do have Tampa Bay still hanging around, but I don't think they're going to be able to sustain it.
Yeah.
Their pitching is they're probably going to unload on pitching if they're not above 500. Look for Alex Cobb, Odorizzi, or Chris Archer if the right deal comes into place to unload at least one of those guys. They do have some younger guys. Matt Andreessi been pitching well. So
the Rays and the Jays, they have the talent to be in it, but I think it's going to be Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles in that division. Central, Twins, man. See, when we were doing this, I wanted to I gave the Twins a little bit of. I thought they were 2 years away because they have a lot of young dudes, but it seems like they're performing pretty fucking well. Indians, I mean, you can't count them out.
Miguel Sano for the Twins has been great this year. We're still waiting on Byron Buxton. Is he actually going to be a guy they thought he's going to be, or is he just going to be your average day 220 center fielder that can field balls? We'll see. And they called up their other youngster recently. I can't remember his name, but the Twins. I mean,
yeah, I think I gave them they had a horrible record last year. I gave them plus.
But they were that
wins.
They kind of stayed the same though. The Astros actually made a push, but they also started right about like 9-20, 9-22. They were brutal early on.
And then you get White Sox, Tigers, Royals, just kind of,
Royals are going to be big sellers. That's going to be your biggest move because they have the choice. Who do they want to sign? They have Moustakas, Hosmer, and Lorenzo Cain all up for contract. So maybe they keep one of those guys come contract time. But, I think probably the infield guys will be the first ones they want to get rid of and try to re-sign Cain. But I think Hosmer will be the big piece. Also, like I said, first baseman option. It's not a huge name, but if the Cardinals want to go out and make a move right now, move Carpenter back to third, put Eric Hosmer at first, that's somebody that could definitely help them.
Now, go back to the Cardinals and the Orioles. All signs point to Machado going to St. Louis, hometown kind of thing. Everybody's been talking about it. If the Orioles do struggle, which I don't see them doing, you never know. You never know if that's going to be a scenario.
I'd be okay with Manny Machado.
I think it's going to wind up being a free agent after next year. I think he's going to stick there. They may try to unload him if they're not that good next year, but I think he's going to stay this year. I think Baltimore will stay in the mix. They still have. I think Britton will be back in a couple weeks once they get that bullpen re-solidified. Darren O'Day, good arm out there in the bullpen. I think Kevin Gausman's starting to get it together a little bit. I think Baltimore's pitching rotation, it's there. It's not great, but it's definitely going to be able to compete.
Yeah, they're good enough to stay in it.
And their hitting is always good enough.
Barring a collapse, they're 3-7 in their last 10.
Yeah.
But barring a collapse, they're 3 games over 500. They're in the mix for the second wild card, anyways. I'd just say there's a possibility. You never know if that happens. So they get something for him instead of losing him to free agency. But other than that, like Astros, like you look at the West, with Trout being out for that extended amount of time, you get the Rangers they're 11 games out, but the Astros, I feel it's gonna be one of those scenarios where they just fucking run away with the division and clinch it so early that they kind of lose that competitive, like we have nothing to play for. Let's just wait to the playoffs, and then kind of sputter out in the first round because they haven't been competing. Whereas, like,
so it sets up for a Boston World Series. I see where he's going with this.
Whereas you look at the American League East, where it's a 3-horse race, every game you're fighting. When you get to the playoffs, you still you don't have to turn that switch on. Whereas the Astros, if they've clinched in August, they've got a whole month where they're just kind of like, all right, let's go fucking play some baseball. Let's call up all our little dudes and So
I know I keep going back to the Cardinals here with these trade, but the Tigers already came out. If they're under 500 come 3 weeks before trade deadline, they said they're willing to unload anybody and everybody, besides Miguel Cabrera. And J.D. Martinez, I know the Cardinals don't necessarily need outfield help right now, but if they could put get a guy like J.D. Martinez, put him in right field, move Piscotty to first and Carpenter to third. That's something that might be able to work too. That gets a bigger name in there, a bigger bat, and guy that is used to hitting 30, 35 home runs a year if he's healthy all year. That's something that they could also look into.
Yeah, there's so much to having that giant bat in the middle that helps everybody else hit.
Well, they don't have a four-hitter. That's part of their issue, and they're putting Stephen Piscotty in that spot that he's not comfortable, and he's better off hitting 2, or hitting 5. And so if you can get somebody that can hit 4, whether it be an Eric Hosmer or a J.D. Martinez, somebody that can do that consistently, that's where you're missing a Matt Holliday from this lineup right now. Is they lost their 4-hitter, and they don't have anybody to replace him that hits consistently. And I think that's an issue running back in this lineup still as we're going into June.
There's a lot of guys hitting 220, 230, 240. Yeah. I posted on Facebook when I went to the game, and I know batting averages are just down in general, but I mean the Cardinals had one player, Jed Jerko, who's hitting 300, and he wasn't in that game.
Yeah.
So, and I mean Jed Jerko's apparently, I didn't know, he's apparently a great baseball player in St. Louis, but that's not the guy. I still don't think Jed Jerko strikes fear into any pitcher.
No.
And even if he did, there's no one. It's like the old saying: you have to have protection. You have to have somebody hitting behind you. And I mean, who's hitting behind Jerko? Molina, but he's gonna single you to death.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Eric Hosmer would be cool. I just heard that's the first time I've really considered that name.
I don't know how the Kansas City with St. Louis deals would go. I know they haven't in the past traded with each other. So it would be interesting to see if Mo would be into those talks.
I did want to mention one thing about Houston. I know we kind of glazed over Houston because it kind of seems they're far and away the best, but I did kind of mention like if Dallas Keuchel, could get back to somewhere near his Cy Young form, that this team would be pretty great. And he's sitting at 8-0 right now, so that's a decent record.
Is that Cy Young form? I'm not sure.
It's close.
8-0. I mean, the wins are good. But
it's early in the season.
I mean, how many are quality starts?
Yeah, he's 8-0 with only 4.
But what's his whip? Can you tell me what his whip is?
And then I did want to mention some guy because I know he's probably going to listen, and I looked over him at
President
the beginning
Trump?
of the season. No, Marwin Gonzalez.
Okay.
This is a guy who's hitting .311 with 11 home runs and 32 RBIs, and his OPS is over 1,000. I didn't even look at Marwin Gonzalez at the beginning of the season, but I don't know why, because in 2016 he set career highs in games played, at-bats, runs, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs, walks, and stolen bases. So it's really no surprise that he's...
What else has he done? I mean, that's
you're
just...
like, what else has he done, right? I don't know.
That's it?
So that's just one guy I wanted to give some love to, because he's probably going to listen. So
yeah.
Marwin, sorry I forgot about you earlier, but I got your back now.
Yeah, we love you, Marwin.
Marwin?
Yeah.
With a W.
That's a good name right there. Marwin. So, hey, look, nobody retweeted us.
Tiger
Woods, y'all.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
Is that what's on your mind, Mr. Tiger?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
So, apparently dash cam footage is going to come out tomorrow. Apparently he got the DUI, right? He said it was a mixture of some pills and whatever. But the cop said he smelled alcohol. Tiger Woods went to the police department, blew a 0.0. So I don't know what kind of alcohol he's smelling.
Yeah.
But seems like Tiger's story is holding up. But, big but, that's no excuse. Like a lot of people are like, oh, he wasn't drinking and driving. It doesn't fucking matter. You're taking pills that probably says on the bottle, do not drive when you take the shit. And at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, there he is, And they said he had sustained damage to his car, so he's fucking running into shit. And they found him sleeping. So, not good. Not good.
Not a good look. Not a good mugshot either. Bad.
It's already all over the place, man. I saw one where it says Tiger Woods golf 2017. It's him in a car. Like, look at that look.
Yeah, it's just that I saw it was a Sports Center thing or whatever. It was like his fall from grace. His last major win was in 2008, and like 2015 he missed 3 cuts in a row, and he hasn't played since. And
then the media tags this onto it like it has something to do. Like, look, he's now using because of it. That's not even the case. He had fucking back surgery. He got some pills. Again, don't get in the fucking car.
Yeah, but we also do not know yet if he just has a pill addiction.
He could.
He could have been taking all that and just said, "Hey, I mixed my meds on accident." No, he might have just taken 4 oxys instead of 1, and then got in his car and didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah.
So that might be the case as well. We can't sit here and say that just because he fucked up with mixing meds, we don't know if he mixed them yet. Let's wait.
Well, he took something that he couldn't drive with.
Definitely agree with that. No, he shouldn't have ever been in a car. We all agree. Why the fuck is he not paying a driver to drive his ass around too?
He's got to have some money left.
Yeah,
you would
hopefully.
think.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's paid a lot of settlements out of court, but
no, I don't think Ellen took them all.
At this point, I'm sure he could at least pay his cousin or something like $50, take him to the club.
Yeah.
Let's stop by Taco Bell.
Yeah. So it sucks, man, because I really like Tiger Woods. Even when he was a stud, he did everything right. That as soon as he got busted banging all them chicks, it was it. It's like he sucked after that. So either he goes back to banging all those chicks and he goes back to Tiger Woods.
I think his body's just done though.
Maybe
the back injuries are
maybe if he wasn't in that thrust motion so often, he might have been fine.
It just boggles me because I don't see golf being that violent of a sport, but I guess the torque that he puts on it because he hit the fuck out of the ball.
And also it's maybe not that violent of a sport, but when you've been doing it since you were 6,
I guess
it's
so.
just years
wear and tear.
And years and years of. He's got a lot of force.
Once he gets on the senior circuit, he'll be fine again.
And Jake, you can speak from this, as a weightlifter and all this, that doing that and playing golf, I don't know how much those work well together because you saw how big Tiger is. Now, whether you go to the gym and you're healthy, that's fine. That's one thing. But sitting there doing a bunch of power curls and all that, and then doing some deadlifts, that's going to mess up your back if you're not doing it properly. And doing it so often and swinging a club, which is a completely different motion, maybe that had something to feed into it. Because how many golfers do you see that are just jacked out of their mind?
Yeah, he was jacked for a while, and that maybe having that muscle mass really took its toll on his swing and his ligaments and whatever the fuck he did to his back.
I feel. Maybe that. But it's also you look at a guy not saying that Tiger is the caliber of athlete as Bo Jackson, but you look at a guy like Bo Jackson who was so physically gifted that he was so strong that breaking a tackle, he physically pulled his femur out of his hip socket that. So you just think of Tiger, he was just so gifted in that swing where he could produce so much force that eventually, your body's cool with that, but eventually it's going to break down.
Yeah.
It's like a guy can only throw 104 mile an hour fastball so many times before it doesn't work anymore.
One thing you cannot get stronger is your ligaments and all those little attachments and your cartilage and stuff like that. You cannot make that stronger. So if you get too big and you start using all that power, it's like if you put a giant engine in the car, and you don't change the gears, you're gonna bust the gears.
Your gas mileage is gonna go through the roof.
You blow the gears out, but in the body, your ligaments are gears you cannot change out. So you blow those out, because you got too powerful.
And also, if you're up all night drinking and
banging chicks,
doing pills, you're not for real. You gotta sleep. You have to recover from this. You can't just go out all night forever and expect to just be fine.
But then you look
sleep and recover.
But then you look back at Tiger and
John Daly's doing fine in the senior PGA. What are you talking about?
In Tiger's prime, his wife, man, she's a pretty good looking chick, and he had all those chicks on the side. Dude,
hey, you know the phrase. You know the phrase.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No matter how hot she is, some guy somewhere is tired of fucking her.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was like, damn, dude, you've done fucked up. But
that sucks.
That's Tiger Woods, y'all.
Hey. I am glad that I was just the right age where I kind of grew up with Tiger a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I got to see all of it. And maybe I think 97 is when he broke on the scene.
Yeah.
And I was a little young then. I was 7, but I still I was like, oh, this guy's cool. He's black. He's a black golfer. Oh, and then he's the best. And then obviously 2008, the last time he won, which is crazy to me that 2008 was his last time he won a major. And wearing that Sunday red, the Tiger wearing the Sunday red was just what you were going to watch on Sundays. I don't give a fuck about golf anymore, to be honest. I love Bubba Watson. Like I like Phil Mickelson.
I'm like opposite. Nobody likes Bubba anymore. I don't know where you've been. Everybody hates Bubba.
Really? I like the name Bubba.
Ever since I saw Jason Duffner's wife hand him a can of Copenhagen,
who's no longer married to him, so that's okay.
Perfect. So
you haven't watched. What was like 2011? The last time you watched golf?
Yeah, probably. Whenever I decided the Tiger wasn't coming back.
There's like 19 guys that are a lot better than
actually.
Three you just named.
It was probably like 2012. I had like Tiger Woods, like the Xbox game. I'm basing all of my golf knowledge.
Whenever Ellen threw that 8-iron through his fucking car, Jake was like, "I'm out."
Yeah,
that's it.
No, I still had hope then. I hung on a little bit longer.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm for one that I enjoy. I get excited. We're getting another major coming up here in a couple weeks. The Masters is always a fun weekend, but all the majors are always fun. You can relax, kind of pay attention to it on Thursday and Friday. It's summertime. Just turn on the TV. You get home from the pool at 3:30, and there's still golf for another 2 hours. Watching, Saturday or Sunday from the U.S. Open, the Open Championship out in England or the PGA, and it's a good time. There's a lot of talent around right now. Spieth is always going to be in it. It seems now it's Dustin Johnson pretty much, coming out there. And you do get Paulina Gretzky with Dustin Johnson, so that's beneficial as well. Everybody enjoys when he wins because she's going to be what's Paulina wearing for the big win?
Yay! Yeah. So golf is one of those sports where you sit back and you watch, you're like, I can fucking do that. I look at that guy. That's easy. Yeah, I can fucking do that. And then you go out and you're like, holy shit, I'm horrible. And you get so mad. Like you go out and golf. I go out and golf and I'll have out of 18 holes. 2 holes where I may par, and I feel good about myself. The rest, fucking snowman, like 8s and fucking. All right, give me an 8. Fuck me, I'm not coming close.
I'm not even gonna putt.
Like I'm gonna use this 7-iron and I fucking scald it. Nah, fuck this, let's go drink beer, But you watch it, and you're like that's easy. That's like how do you do it?
That's true. In all my years of professional sports, I get way more professional sports. Wow, organized sports. In all my years of organized sports, I got way more excited fucking around on the golf course, like mishitting a driver, than I ever did like missing a block.
Yeah, because it looks so easy.
That's not exciting. No, missing a block is never gonna wind up well for you.
You watch football and you're like, yeah, fuck, I couldn't hang out with these guys. I couldn't get run over by, fucking LeGarrette Blunt. Fuck that. You look at baseball and you're like.
But football, for our position that me and Jake played, if you miss one block, you can make the literally the other 162 you did do the rest of the games. But you miss that one, or your quarterback gets drilled, they're gonna be like, oh, there's Watkins over there with that missed block, and the quarterback's not gonna be out for 6 weeks. Doesn't matter if that was the only one you missed the whole game. You let him get crushed, you're done. The team hates you.
If it's a nice play and it's like holding. Number 75, Jim Watkins. Like fuck.
What are you talking
and the camera's right up.
What's up? Hold. He's like, you're out here. You're right.
And the camera's right at the guy's face as they're calling it because they already know, and he's just like, what?
No, I'm inside. I'm inside.
No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. There's no way.
I used to have to get because I think I did only have 3 holding penalties in my 2 years. I don't think I had any during club football, but. I might have had a few, but I had 2 in high school, or 2 or 3 in high school, and I would always be like going towards the ref, be like, "What are you talking about?" And I would just feel it was usually Connor just coming drag me back to the huddle. I'm like, I didn't hold, so I don't know what he's talking about.
The only penalty I got called for, only one. I was playing wide receiver, and I was coming for a crackback, and that fucking linebacker, we did a counter, and that linebacker's looking the other way. And I know I'm trying to chop it up, so once he turns around, I'm gonna light him up. I slipped and took him out at the knees. Got called for a chop block. I was like, fuck, I see the flag and I was like, I didn't mean to. He's like, doesn't matter,
It doesn't matter if you didn't try to, yeah.
I mean, dude, my eyes lit up. I was like, yeah, whoop, there goes my feet, so. But yeah, golf, like out of all sports, like football, baseball, even basketball, like there's no way I can fucking hang with LeBron. But you look at that golf and, whoop, man, I could do that. That looks easy. You can't do it. Fuck that. It's even harder. I could probably go make a 3-pointer in a basketball game, but there's no fucking way I could par a pro golf course. But going to football, did you guys, apparently you didn't see Brandon Jacobs. So I'm conflicted. Giants fan, Brandon Jacobs, big giant running
We'll
back.
give him a shout out as Southern Illinois University.
Yeah, did well. I like Jacobs as a player. Didn't put up giant stats, but apparently when he went to the Niners and played for Harbaugh, he didn't care for him too much.
Well, because his career ended after playing 1 year for the Niners. That's partially why he probably has a vendetta against them.
Yeah, he said, quote, going somewhere where you don't have route conversions into certain coverages was just absurd. This is on a radio show. He says they're just running routes in the defense, getting people killed. Size and strength is what they had. That's why they won. Let's be real. They had great assistant coaches, but Jim didn't know what he was doing. Jim had no idea. Jim is throwing slants into cover 2 safeties, getting people hurt. That guy knew nothing, man. And I'm like, oh, dude, like.
Did he also keep going real quick, and I'll rebuttal back. But
Okay, so I can't support Brandon Jacobs in this scenario. It's like look at his record. Look at what he did at where was he before Stanford? He was at
San Diego, University of San Diego.
He turned San Diego around, turned Stanford around. Then he goes to the Niners, turns them around, NFC Championships, plays in a Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick as his quarterback.
Which I will get into. That's my point here.
And then goes to Michigan, does his thing. A lot of what Jacobs is saying is the reason why he was successful is he turned his offense and played around what he had with Kaepernick. So he made it very simple for him.
Exactly. So he can't have route conversions for a quarterback that doesn't understand what those are. He was the quarterback that they wanted to throw in there. Colin Kaepernick could not make those happen.
Right.
So Brandon Jacobs maybe should have thought about that. Alex Smith could have done those things, but they chose to go to Kaepernick midway through the year.
Right. So a sign of a great coach at any level is to change your system and develop it around what you have, especially at the quarterback position. You can't just force players around a system. You got to force your system around your players, and that's what he did there. Last time I checked, a slant and a cover 2 is actually not bad.
Yeah, I don't know anything, but I thought that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, that's an open middle right there, but maybe in the NFL it's different. Maybe, so I just thought, I don't know what his point is here. What he's trying to accomplish. He wants Jim Harbaugh. He's like, he's going to continue until he's fired from Michigan, which not going to happen. So
he'll wind up as like the running backs coach at Michigan here in 6 months.
I don't know what he's accomplishing. So Jim Harbaugh replied via Twitter, finally. Biblical advice for Gator Boy RB. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you along with all malice. So Harbaugh did just meet the Pope. So
that was a serious response.
He went all in, and I'm going biblical on your ass, and he did. So, like I said, I still like Jacobs. I loved him as a Giant.
He's got a ring. Just retire into the sunset and get over it. Quit coming on radio shows and bashing former coaches.
Yeah, especially one when with that sort of resume, like, dude, like, why?
And here's the deal: we're the type of podcast that we like guys that go shirtless with khaki pants on and run around. I would like to actually have a show like that, sometime in the near future. So, Brandon Jacobs, I'm sorry. Your little 2-yard runs back whenever you're cute with the Giants don't really flow well with this show. We're Jim Harbaugh fans, so good luck.
Yeah, well, I'm a Giants fan and a Michigan fan. But I side with Harbaugh in this
Absolutely.
case. So, his resume speaks for himself.
Brandon Jacobs was about to be out of a job. He probably shouldn't even have been picked up by the Niners. So sorry that you didn't get used right because you weren't any good. And what's he talking about running routes anyway? When did Brandon Jacobs ever run routes? He has probably 9 catches total as a career.
We can look that up.
Yeah, it probably won't be much higher. I was shooting low, but probably not many than 9.
Yeah, so as a coach, as you know, I just recently got my bachelor's degree in sports science and health and with my major in coaching as a aspiring coach. Jim Harbaugh is one of those guys I'd like to model after. Obviously one of the greats. So, I don't. All right, here we go. Brandon Jacobs' career receiving stats.
Receiving stats. Oh boy, here we go.
This is a year where he had a decent.
He had none in San Fran.
Well, there you go.
His highest was 23. Okay, we'll give him that. He had 82 catches and what, a 9-year career.
Yeah, 700 yards. That's pretty decent. 4 touchdowns. Hey, look, 3 over 40 yards. Look at that.
Good for him.
Good boy. He did. So, yeah.
He did have 1 fumble on a reception.
That should hold on to the ball. He'd be fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was my thing to talk about this week is, what do you think about guys like that calling out? I mean, it's almost like it just like you look at Harbaugh's resume and then the claims that like this shouldn't even get any traction in the media.
Who's the former tight end from the Redskins? You'll probably know this one, Chris, the white cat that has his own radio show.
Cooley?
Now. Yeah, Chris Cooley. He's always calling out people, and like, yeah, I mean, he was pretty good for a couple of years, but like, dude, just chill out. Like, I guess now that you have your own radio show, that's what you do. That's what you're gonna do, but.
Well, Chris Cooley is one of those guys that the only reason why he was quote unquote good is because he put up decent numbers for shitty teams. Like the Redskins, were mediocre. You know, he was their star. You know, so and I guess these guys they move on and they just need to reclaim some attention.
Like, I mean, I guess whenever we get like we're drinking at parties and stuff, we want to talk about like what we did back in high school.
I love to talk shit on my high school coach.
But it's not like that we're I don't like to talk shit on my high school coach. Did you have Bliss though?
No, I had Coach Doherty.
You did have Doherty the last year? Bliss was the
I notice I still call him Coach Doherty because I'm
earned
still a little afraid of him. But
Bliss was your junior year, right? And then he left.
No.
You did never have Bliss?
No, mine was Doherty's last year.
And then Bliss came in. Okay.
Bliss was there for a couple of years, and then Coach Martin. I think Bliss was there for 2.
2, yeah.
And then Coach Martin.
You guys didn't do very well.
No, we were 4-5 my senior year.
No. But with Bliss, they didn't do very well.
I mean, they were better than my senior year, but they were all right.
What are you going to do?
Bliss was like used to playing, like he was like a coach in Kansas of like 9-on-9 football. Like, I don't, like what? He's like playing Arena League or some shit.
How'd you wind up on him? Who knows? But yeah, no, that's just how it is, I think. I think people, I mean, we get excited about talking about former past stories, but I don't think there's, just because you have a platform, go shout out some guy. Like we saw, he played for the Giants and had like 13 carries the year after playing for the Niners, and then he's done. So, like, your career is coming to a close. He didn't have a catch. Maybe that's why, because he thought he's been utilized more.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm averaging like 7 catches a year from the backfield. If you had those check down routes, well, Kaepernick is going to run it. He's not going to check down to Brandon Jacobs, who's 50 pounds heavier than the quarterback and 0.3 of a second slower on a 40. So he's going to go ahead and run it himself because he's probably going to get 12 more yards than you. Sorry, bud. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know. Anyways.
I'm good.
Yeah, I literally have no comments.
Is that it? Is that that was a good deal.
Cue the music, Jamie.
Didn't.
There's
Oh.
I don't even know how to turn this down. Why is it so loud? Hey, just kidding. Where can they find us?
Psych.
There it is. There we go. I don't know why I was so loud the first time. Where can they find us, guys?
I think they can find us at FromUnderTheBleachers.com. They can also find us on Facebook /FromUnderTheBleachers. You can go on Twitter and find us at FUTBleachers.
I thought it was FUT Bleachers.
FUTB Bleachers, I thought. That's what I thought.
It's one of those.
Bleachers.
Just type in something around those and you'll find us.
You could also find us individually at Getch82.
At Jimbro Threesome.
At Jacob Dale.
Yeah. And then look now for brand new original content at TyrantScouting.com from Mr. Jimbro and myself.
Also, go to our YouTube page, youtube.com. Just click on the link and type it from Under the Bleachers, and you'll be able to find us. We'll be right there. That's how you caught us right now.
Make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. Tell your friends' moms. Tell your mom's friends' friends' moms. Tell everybody. Let's go. We only got 30 subscribers. What are you people doing? Tell people.
We're out.